What's up YouTube, it's me Jess and I'm an opera singer. Today's video is Patron Pick of the Month, and for this month they have chosen Voctave singing Disney Princess Medley. Let's go. Pause. I promise we'll rewind to get back into this place. Man, so many things to talk about. Thank goodness I have the sheet music. Gotta remember to get to Kate's voice later. This rendition is absolutely stunning. You can tell from the very first note that this is going to be a good performance. They are in sync like nobody's business, and that takes so much practice, so much time, a lot of concentration, and a lot of built trust. They have that, and you can tell that right from the beginning. I love hearing that cohesive sound between all of them. So let's dive into some sheet music and some harmonies. Why not? This is Voctave. I'm sure there's some interesting stuff going on. Okay, so looking at the sheet music, you can see right off the bat, you have this beautiful ninth chord as your first chord, which is introducing the piece. B flat, D, F, A, and C. The A and the C, which are in the tenor line, your first and second tenors, yes, are the notes that are creating the dissonance within the B flat major chord. So this is in B flat so far, starting off, and the B flat triad just has B flat, D, F. Then you have this A and C, the seventh and the ninth, which is creating this dissonance between this B flat triad. I can't remember these neighboring tones or passing tones. Y'all let me know down below. But the A and C are just creating these really beautiful neighboring tones, I believe, to get to the next chord. And then you'll see the following chord is another, let's see, E flat, G, B, B, D, F. Okay, missing the fifth, totally normal in choral writing. So here is another ninth chord. Now this time you have the fifth omitted, totally normal, and you have the ninth, the dissonance of the chord, now being sung by the soprano line, which is going to be Tiffany. It's cool to see the altering of where the dissonance is happening within the voices. First you had it right in the middle of the harmony in your inner tenor line, and now you have it right in the melody essentially, because Kate hasn't even sang yet, singing that beautiful ninth dissonance. What looks like is happening is for the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 measures, you're just going back and forth between these two chords, a B flat ninth chord and a E flat ninth chord, and you're just doing this for the first, let's see, 5-ish measures, and then it breaks off into something else. To me, what is beautiful about the back and forth between these two chords are the common tones between the two chords. Now, common tones are essentially tones that are common or the same within 2 or more chords. So in this instance, you have the B flat and the F natural are going to be your common tones because you have a B flat in both chords, the B flat major chord and the E flat or the B flat ninth chord and also the E flat ninth chord. And then you also have an F in both chords. You see the F in the bass line sung between the, I guess, in the first spaces. And then you also have an F in the soprano line for the second chord. Hearing these common tones kind of going back and forth between these two chords, I think for me is what makes this whole part so far feel so magical and just so continuous. It's a beautiful sound. Let's talk about the melody, because this melody is so iconic and it's so good. The original composers of this piece, I will write their names here, did a fantastic job with this score, especially with the melody. It's this idea of a back and forth between tension and resolution. That is really what music is about. How long can you keep someone in this phase of feeling tension before you give them the final release of resolution? Or how long are you going to keep us listeners in this stage of resolution before you throw us some tension so that we can feel a different feeling? That really is what music is about. Now, what is awesome about this melodic line is you get this pretty much right away. You can see that within the second measure that the soprano sings, Miss Kate sings a beautiful F sharp. Now, F sharp is not in the key of B flat. So it creates this idea of tension that it doesn't belong in the key and it wants to go somewhere. Now, F sharp is the raised fifth in B flat, and that naturally wants to resolve up to the sixth scale degree. However, we do not get that resolution immediately. As you can see in the melodic line, this resolution is actually held off for 2 beats with the interruption of the A natural. We finally get the resolution to the G natural, which the F sharp wants to resolve to, and it is reinforced by a repetition. So after you get this interruption of 2 beats with this A natural, you get this beautiful final resolution that we've been wanting to hear to this G, and it is reinforced by it repeating on the words will and also come. Absolutely gorgeous. And you see this happen again in the very next line. You've got this beautiful B natural in the melodic line, right in the second measure of the second verse. And this B natural is raised 1, the raised tonic. That naturally either wants to go up, you can also hear it wanting to resolve down. But raised scale degrees usually want to resolve up. Now, what happens here? The exact same thing that happened before. We don't get that immediate resolution. Instead, we are held off with that resolution with the interruption of the D natural on the word find. Then we finally get that feeling of resolve on the words my love to that C natural. Gorgeous, gorgeous melodic writing. Just this idea of I'm going to give you some tension. Not only am I going to keep you in this state of tension, but I'm going to take my time giving you that final resolution that I know you're itching for. It's what makes this melodic line so gorgeous. Now, listening to Kate's voice, she has a phenomenal voice. I think a lot of us can agree on that. Now, Kate's voice naturally sounds on the more classically trained side. You can hear that from the opening of her vowels and the way that she chooses to shape her sound. And her opening her vowels and opening that mouth cavity is going to give her a little bit of a differentiation between her voice and, let's say, a pop singer or even a musical theater singer. Now, I want to talk about one specific line that was absolutely beautiful. It was so cool to see. It was on the words, and how thrilling that moment will be. This entire phrase sits pretty high, fairly high. For Kate, it's not high, but for the average person, it's a little on the higher side, and it goes above the staff for the words moment will, and then it drops back down to an F on the word be. Now, if you noticed, Kate's mouth barely moved to form the consonances within the word. There are moments in music where you've got to just say, hey, the most important part really is figuring out how to get this note out. It's high, and that is what is going to be the priority, not so much the word. Totally fine in certain instances. And this worked so well in this instance. Now, when you naturally go to form the words moment will be, you'll notice your lips have to come closer together to form the M in the word moment and also for the word be, right? But if you notice what Kate did, she really didn't even think twice about moving her mouth to perfectly form the M's in the word moment or the word, the letter B for the word be. Find my love until thrilling the No, her lips, her mouth went like this. Moment will be. And that was so nice to see because what is happening is she's staying on a very high note for essentially that entire phrase. You're going from F, F, F to A, 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 right back down to F. That all lives in a very similar space within your mouth. So why not make it easier and lessen the effort needed in order to make that space for that sound? This was an absolutely brilliant demonstration. What I loved about the harmonies is this entire time, let's say in the beginning, all you're getting from the backing harmonies are loo, right? They're not singing really any words. Oh, you get loo, then they go to O, then they go to ah, and then to O, and then some more O's, and then loo. The first true sentence you get from them, I think is so brilliant to put it on the words, I love you. Oh, I thought that was such a nice touch. It created this echo effect of, Snow White saying, I love you, and then she's hearing the voice of her prince singing I love you, which is sung by the backing harmonies. You whisper, I love you. I thought that was such a nice touch. Now, directly after this, I don't know if it was me, but Kate sang a beast of a phrase. If I got this correctly, she sang, though he's far away, I'll find my love someday when my dreams come true. All in one phrase. What she did do was she stopped the sound just after that high C, which was gorgeous. Stopped the sound, but she didn't inhale. I didn't hear any inhalation. Now, what could have happened is post-production could have taken that breath out, which happens actually pretty often. However, the way that she was essentially lip-singing her part, that's what they're all doing, the way that she was doing that, she didn't even take an inhalation during that part. So it made me believe that she actually really sang all of this in one phrase. Do you know how astronomically hard that is? A, to have to climb all the way up to a high C, sustain that high C in a beautiful way, and then essentially continue the phrase for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a quarter bar. That is hard. And then on top of that, to match the straight tone for the last note with everyone else and then start everyone's vibrato on the same note in the same beat. It's insane. What we're going to do is we're going to rewind and we're going to listen to this entire phrase again because I have to see if that was actually something that really happened. Even if it wasn't, it was just a glorious moment. Though he's far away, we'll find my love someday when dreams come true. I know you, I walked with you once upon a dream. Oh, yes. I know you, the gleam in your eyes is so familiar a gleam. Yet I know it's true that visions are sad. Okay, as always, I promise I will rewind to get back into this part. My God, this is so freaking good. Okay, where do I want to start? Let's start with the idea of the transition. The transition from Snow White song to what is this? Once Upon a Dream. The transition from these two songs is so smart. There's some similarities between the two, and then there are some obvious differences. One, looking at the sheet music, both pieces are in 3/4 time. The difference between that, though, is Once Upon a Dream is like double the time that of Someday My Prince Will Come. Another similarity between the two pieces are there is an emphasis of a longer beat duration at the beginning of the melodic line. So looking at the sheet music, you'll notice that in Once Upon a Dream, you have longer held notes on the first parts, the first beats within the phrases. Let's look at this as an example. He'll whisper, I love you, and still. You notice the very first words take up a nice hearty amount of time. And that is the same thing that is happening in Once Upon a Dream. I know you, I walked with you once upon a dream. I know you. You hear how the very first part of the melodic line takes up a nice, hearty, chunky amount of time before kind of moving into the middle of the phrase. That is a nice, beautiful similarity between the two. Also, pretty cool, both pieces have F sharps within the melody. Now, a difference between that, though, is there seems to be a little bit more of chromaticism going on in the melodic line for Once Upon a Dream in comparison to Someday My Prince Will Come. But I think it's cool how all of these things are kind of tied into both pieces. Now, a couple of other cool things to point out is the timing of the very beginning of Once Upon a Dream is really hard. Looking at the sheet music, you've got this beautiful just sustaining of notes going on in Snow White's part. You don't have too much movement. You've got some movement in the bass, but then eventually they just hold a note. And then you just have to magically come in on time at the same time in sync, right? And on the first beat, on the downbeat of the second song is going to be the basses and Tiffany with her solo line. So they really have to be in sync and know exactly when they're going to breathe together and come in together on the downbeat. That is hard, especially when you have no music that is leading up to your count in. Beautiful job the way that they did that. Now, Tiffany's voice it's like a diamond. It's stunning. I absolutely love her mixed voice and the way that she is able to effortlessly maneuver in and out of her registers, but keep them, it's all just sounds so fluid and so consistent. Her voice is top notch. There was a very cool part that was going on in the harmonies. Yes, we're going to that part. Jamie Ray. Yes. So you've got some pretty cool things happening. It looks like you've got the first sopranos, then you've got the soprano solo line, the altos and the tenors kind of kicking off into this really cool moment where you've got some jumps and leaps and things going on. Now, what is interesting about what is happening here is what is going on between Tiffany's line, her solo line, and the first sopranos and the altos. Now, if you notice, Tiffany's line for the words seldom all they seem are moving down on the word seldom by a perfect fourth. The move from G to D is a perfect fourth. Now, in opposition, what is happening in both the first soprano lines and the alto lines is they are moving up a perfect fifth, the inversion of Tiffany's line. And then to elevate the coolness of this line even more, while Tiffany is holding her movement of a perfect fourth from going from a half note to a quarter note, you've got in opposition the soprano line and the alto line moving immediately from the first beat to the second beat. So there's no gap of sound.
I know it's true that visions are seldom all they see.
And then, if you all don't know, my favorite interval, the minor sixth. My God, and what makes this also beautiful is that we get it repeated twice. So you've got this beautiful moment of fourths and fifths moving up and down, and then you finally get that beautiful upward resolve leap to the sixth, and then you get this first in Tiffany's line. And what makes this even more beautiful is while she is holding that minor sixth leap on that B flat, you've got the alto line doing exactly what she did, but one beat later. So it's like this echoing effect of minor sixth. Oh my God, it's just everything in the entire world.
The way you did once.
Yes.
Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything? I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. I've got who's its and what's its galore. You want thingamabobs? I got 20. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. Some answers. What's a fire and why does it? What's the word? Burns in my turn when I love to explore that shore up above. Out of the sea, wish I could be part of that.
Yes. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Jamie Ray. This is just so brilliant. Thank you for including Ariel. My favorite princess. Okay. Again with the transition. That transition from Once Upon a Dream to Ariel's piece was so smooth. It literally sounded like water. Tenors come through. Tenors come through. They were doing some coloratura movement, and let's look at that and break that down because that is not easy. This tenor line, let me play this for y'all. Ooh, I'm gonna look at this music. Ooh, ooh. Okay. Now, imagine doing that like double that time. And who was singing this? I know for sure it was EJ. I don't know if there was another tenor singing this with him. If so, that makes it like 80 times harder because to sing coloratura with just one person, is freaking difficult. But then to add another person onto that so that they can match each and every pitch at the exact same time with you so that everything sounds cohesive and in sync is, my God, so hard, especially at this tempo. So tenors seriously come through. That was incroyable. Sarah, Miss Sarah, you literally sound like the perfect Ariel alternative. It's quite insane. Your voice just sounds like a a newer version of the original Ariel sound. The diction was so good, and I think the diction is especially important in this song because you've got a lot. It's just very wordy. You've got to chew through a lot of words, and you've also got to chew through made-up words such as thingamabobs, gadgets, gizmos, aplenty. You know, you've got these made-up words, and you've really got to enunciate through them so that we can make some sense of what is being said, even though the words are made up. I will say though, I feel like this was the one moment within the song so far where I felt like the lip syncing was pretty obvious. It wasn't really in sync with her mouth movement, and maybe that's just me because it's like a superpower. I don't talk about this at all, but I can spot out lip syncing like from a mile away. I'm really good at it. Oh my god, they did an incredible climax. It was at the perfect moment too. The swell was gorgeous. It was after I want more. Then you just got this wave. There's just this crashing wave of continuous sound. It was a very consonant and open sound. Okay, so right as she sings I want, on the downbeat of more is where you get this idea of the swell, and it just keeps swelling all the way into essentially almost the end of her solo line. So this idea of consonants you're going to get in the, looks like tenor line within the first and second tenors. They're singing these beautiful thirds, they move to a fourth, and then they move to a fifth. Very consonant sound. And you also have a third between the alto line and the first soprano line. A very consonant sound. Now, the openness of the sound is going to come from those big octaves in the bass line. You've got, within the first and second basses, you've got C's, just the pedal C, and then you've also got, you've got the alto line and then the alto solo line who are singing on the same G. So you've got the idea of this openness with these big octaves and unisons, and then the idea of consonants with these movements of thirds going to fifths. It's a beautiful sound. And then the sound just continues to swell, and right after this you get the tenor lines come through tenors with more coloratura, and then you've got this get some answers. Loved the rhythmic variation on that part. And then you've just got this beautiful swell all the way up into wouldn't I love to explore that shore up above. You've got Kate, of course, soaring super high on a high C, going to a high D flat, back down to a C, and holding onto a beautiful high B flat.
No big deal, I want more. And I'm ready to know what the people know. Ask them my questions and get some answers. What's a fire and why does it? What's the word? When's in my turn? When I love to explore that shore above.
This was absolute perfection. The perfect swell and the perfect cool down at the end of her piece.
Wish I could be part of that world. Look at me, I will never pass for a perfect bride
Yes, diction.
or a perfect daughter. Can it be?
Nice.
I'm not meant to play this part.
Nice.
Now I see that if I were truly to be myself, I would break my family's heart.
Oh, good.
Who is that girl I see
Oh my god, that was so good, and I can't wait for the next song. I'm sorry. How are they just gonna come and make this video with no explanation? It's just so unbelievably unfair. Okay. This soloist, what is her name? Ashley. Oh my god. Ashley. The consistency of her voice. I absolutely loved it. Her mixed voice was perfect, and I loved the balance of chest voice with a little bit of head voice in her top higher notes. There was a beauty about the way that she sang the word reflection, but specifically the syllable shun in the word reflection each time. I don't know if I'll be able to do this, but if I were to replay just that one syllable shun back to back, it would sound so consistent. It was pitch perfect. It was resonant. It did not sound like she was struggling to hit that note. And in fact, she hit that note with so much ping that it was so crystal clear that there were many notes above that she could easily hit. That was insanely good. This is random. Girl I see. The way that she sang, who is that girl I see? I really loved. It was like the way that she sang the word I. Who is that girl I? She put the sound like right here. Who is that girl I see? Right where her nose is, and it just kind of went shoom. So random, but I thought it was absolutely stunning. Oh my god, of course, Kate she's just I don't think she's human. I really don't. That is crazy what she can do. It isn't really the fact that she can sing crazy high. Yes, that's awesome. How she can do it so often. That and the way that she is able to sustain those notes for a long duration of time. Like, it's one thing to be able to sing high, right? If you can sing high and just do a little staccato, cool. But if you can sing high and actually hold the note for as long as Miss Kate is holding it, that's a whole nother level. A whole nother level of training. Just something completely like out of this universe, a whole different type of talent. It's beautiful. When will my reflection show who I am? When will my reflection show who I am inside? You think the only people who are people are people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew. Yes. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon? Or ask the grinning bucket why he grinned? We need to sing with all the voices of the mountain. Yes. We need to paint with all the colors of the wind. You can own the earth and still all you'll own is earth and still you can paint with all the colors of the wind. When will my reflection someday once upon a dream? Someday when my dreams come true. No, y'all did No, y'all didn't. Who is this last singer? What is her name? Miss Crystal. Ooh, I loved the way that she came in so nice and strong on the very first word, you. It's so easy to just want to kind of skip right through that note to get to the next note, but no, she held her ground and she's saying, you think, it was so beautiful. Let's look at the music. Ooh, that's a low note. Yo.
Who I am inside. You think the only people who are people.
Before we move on, if y'all are curious, that low note, that very first note of Pocahontas's line that Miss Crystal sang so beautifully, is a E flat 3. Not E5. Come on, keyboard. E flat 3. Yeah. That is like in the tenor line. Okay, Miss Crystal, that was stunning. Now, looking at the music, let's talk about all of the goodness going on in this. I like to pay attention to the harmonies to just see what they're up to and see what's going on. You all are gonna think I'm so weird. Whatever. The harmonies this whole time at the very beginning of the song are just singing again, Lou, 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 Lou. Voctave likes Lou. We get our first on the words, but if you walk the footsteps of a stranger. Now, looking at this, I've got to ask myself, why did they put the ah there? Why not put ah later? Why did they randomly switch from loo to ah? Why not, I don't know, loo to o to ah? Well, I think this placement is actually interesting. Granted, I have no idea if the composer was thinking of this, but this is what I came up with. So, let's read the words to the beginning of this song. You think the only people who are the people who look and think like you. Right? This first part of the song is really analyzing, let's say, and maybe even critiquing the thought process of a specific person, right? Almost honing in on or hinting at something that is negative about this person and the way that they think and their ideals, and hinting at maybe I can offer you some solution. Pinpointing the negative aspects of someone's character, right? Underneath all of this, you're getting loo, 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 loo. Then, conversation flips and goes, but if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew. But now the conversation has flipped to possibly suggest a different approach to the way someone thinks, to someone's mannerisms, to someone's perspectives, to someone's even lifestyle, right? Offering some sort of advice, some sort of open-mindedness, some sort of forward thinking. I thought it was very intuitive and very cool that during this aha moment of, no, you shouldn't be thinking this way. Let's open your mind and possibly think about it in this way. You get this beautiful open ah vowel. I told you, I'm an Aquarius. I live up here. Now, moving on. Let's look. What else is going on in here? Oh, yes. Crystal, the way that you sang. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon? I love how she dipped the melodic line on the word corn. So random, but I loved how she added that extra note that I'm pretty sure is not in the original. To the blue corn moon. So on the word corn, I like that she added an extra note. That extra note, I believe, is a C.
Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon?
That was just such a nice little touch. I'm telling you all, it's the little things for me that make all the difference. I also, oh my God, in her line, she did something totally unexpected. I was not expecting to hear this with chest voice. You can own the earth and still all you'll own is earth until. I truly wasn't expecting the note on the word until to have any chest voice. I don't know why, but when she sang that note and added some chest up into that, what is that note, an A flat, it was gorgeous.
You can own the earth and still all you'll own is earth until.
Can I also say I thought it was absolutely genius to incorporate an octave leap going from the words the wind for Crystal's last two words.
You can paint with all the colors of the wind.
My God, was that octave leap so satisfying, or was it not? And the way that she sang through the W, she gave me wind, and then gave us a final D on that consonant, was so stunning. Yes, this overall whole part, I loved how reflection, the last word of reflection, the note bled over into this final song of Pocahontas' solo, and then Pocahontas' solo started.
Not show who I am inside. You think the only people who are people.
And then at the end of Pocahontas' song, she's holding out this note on the word wind that is bleeding through until the next soloist comes in. When will my reflect? While she's holding the word wind, and then and someday I'll be, then once upon a dream. Oh my God, I thought that was so genius. And then they all come together on the words someday when my dreams come true. I love how it was just the soloists, and then the men came in and sang what looks like a beautiful open fifth in the basses and a C in the tenor line. Jamie Ray, round of applause. This arrangement is top notch. It is fantastic. If you liked all that you saw, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Please comment down below what Voctave video should be next. Lastly, make sure you check out my description box for ways that you can keep in touch with me, get access to exclusive perks such as my newly revamped Patreon page, and or take a voice lesson with me. I hope y'all have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye!